The OnePlus 8 series is the third generation to include two variants, with the OnePlus 8 Pro being closer to other top flagships in terms of price and features. The OnePlus 8 still embodies the company's roots of providing premium but relatively affordable devices, with a bigger chunk of the attention going to the OnePlus 8 Pro since launch because, you know, it's the Pro. How does the standard OnePlus 8 fare? Keep watching to find out. Sleek and metallic, the OnePlus 8's minimalist but functional approach to design is both pleasing to look at and to use. A couple examples of this include the minimized bezels in front thanks to the curved sides and punch hole camera setup. Also that the matte glass back panel is more forgiving when it comes to fingerprints and doesn't slide as easily on a smooth surface. It clocks in at around the same size as last year's OnePlus 7T with a 6.55-inch screen, but is actually lighter by 10 grams despite having a larger battery than the previous model. They've also abandoned the circular rear camera module in favor of the center-placed, vertically aligned module that's been around since the OnePlus 6. For buttons, we get the volume rocker on the left side and the power button and three-way mute switch on the right. I'm somewhat partial towards the power and volume buttons being on one side to prevent accidental presses when laying the phone on its side when watching a video. However, that's a very minor thing. The bottom contains the main loudspeaker, main microphone, USB Type-C port, and dual SIM card slot. The OnePlus 8 comes with plenty of internal storage starting at 128GB. But the option for microSD expansion would have been nice. The top houses the secondary noise cancelling microphone and the speakerphone, which is actually cleverly hidden along the top bezel. It also acts as a secondary speaker when playing media to make a stereo setup, which is nice. In the hand, the OnePlus 8 certainly feels large, which might require smaller users to use both hands to reach the top of the screen. But for one-handed use, you can comfortably type on the keyboard and swipe around the UI. Now taking a closer look at the display, we get a 6.55-inch Fluid AMOLED panel with a 2400 by 1080 resolution, support for HDR10+, and of course a 90Hz refresh rate. While there are 120Hz phone screens available nowadays, there's no denying that even 90Hz is many more times buttery smooth than standard 60Hz. For a phone with such an attractive design, the crisp animations on the UI further the experience. After all, OnePlus is the one who brought the high refresh rate smartphone screens to the mainstream. But aside from the nice high refresh rate, the display shows crisp details, vibrant colors, deep blacks, and decent enough viewing angles, especially for an AMOLED panel. For display customization, you get the option to hide the punch hole if you wish to do so, full custom screen calibration, color temperature adjustment, reading mode, and an optional vibrant color effect that enhances the colors in video playback. When it comes to audio, again, the OnePlus 8 utilizes a combination of the bottom-firing speaker and earpiece speakerphone to make for a stereo setup. It gets pretty loud in a small, quiet space and has a pretty balanced sound output. Overall, decent enough for casual listening and for gaming. Now checking out cameras, the OnePlus 8 has a total of 4. That's a triple setup at the rear consisting of a 48MP main sensor, a 16MP ultra-wide, and a 2MP macro. For selfies, a single 16MP shooter. Hardware spec-wise, this is a pretty simple configuration that will probably be just enough for most users. Now, while the images we get from this phone aren't all that bad, I was honestly expecting a little bit more, especially from a flagship device. But the first part of that statement still rings very true, as shots in good lighting conditions turn out pretty well. Especially with the main rear camera, shots are nice and crisp with vibrant colors and somewhat decent dynamic range. The ultra-wide camera is pretty good as well, although we wish it had an even wider field of view. Portrait shots with the rear camera have a pleasant bokeh effect, and subject-background separation is on point. For selfies, skin tones don't exactly appear natural as tones lean more towards cool, though you still can take good shots. The area that's lacking here is really low light, where shots look quite muddy and are riddled with noise. Night mode does relieve this, but only in certain situations. I mean, you can't night mode everything. Overall, the OnePlus 8 has a decent enough camera system to pair with the rest of its flagship level attributes, but in the end, we still were expecting more. Not that it produces bad images, but more like the fact that some mid-range phones nowadays can rival it in terms of general quality. Under the hood, the OnePlus 8 is powered by none other than the current Qualcomm flagship chipset, the Snapdragon 865, along with an Adreno 650 GPU, up to 12GB of RAM, and up to 256GB of internal storage. High performance, well, it comes pretty easy for this device, allowing you to throw as many tasks as you want at it, regardless of the type. Blitzing around the UI is a great experience, also thanks to the high refresh rate, making the OnePlus 8 feel fast in practice, as well as it is on paper. Check out the benchmark scores we got right here, they're pretty high. Running the software department is Oxygen OS based on Android 10. This is one of the best Android skins in the market thanks to its clean-looking UI and customizable nature. It gives you almost everything from an app drawer to customizable icons, solid volume controls, and great battery management. For connectivity, it has all the modern connectivity features such as dual SIM support, dual band Wi-Fi, dual band GPS, Bluetooth 5.1, NFC, all of that, even 5G. This is an underrated area that really defines the device as a flagship. For its relative lower price to other top-tier flagship phones, it's an easier attained entry to 5G. Power is handled by a 4,300 mAh battery with support for 30-watt fast charge, which still is very fast even if there are faster charging technologies in the market right now. On average, we were able to get about a day and a half of light to moderate usage before finding the need to charge. That's on the 60Hz refresh rate. When using 90Hz, it's about morning to early evening from a full charge. But that's not all that bad, knowing that even a 20-minute warp charge will net you about 50%. In our standard video loop test, the device lasted for 25 hours, and in the PC Mark Work 2.0 battery test, it got a score of 15 hours and 39 minutes. Both of these are solid results. Despite lacking an IP rating, mind-blowing camera quality, and wireless charging, the OnePlus 8 is still, no doubt, a solid flagship and is probably enough to satisfy anyone looking for this caliber of phone without having to spend anywhere from upwards of 50,000 pesos. You're still getting a lot of premium features like A+ design, a 90Hz AMOLED display, solid performance, great battery life, fast charging, one of the best Android skins on the market, and even 5G connectivity. The OnePlus 8 is priced at 35,990 pesos, that's for the 8GB 128GB variant, that's over Digital Walker, and is certainly a bang for your buck flagship device. Now, what do you guys think about the OnePlus 8? Let us know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like, subscribe to our channel for more content, hit the bell icon to see the best future uploads, and be sure to visit yugotech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. This has been Joey, and guys, stay hydrated.